Brandon Beane assembled a team full of depth, but who's actually going to be starting for the 2023 Buffalo Bills? We got to understand each and every single position group on this team and who I think is going to rise to the occasion, what cream is going to rise to the top, and let the best man win. Welcome to my channel, Bills News Consolidated, taking a look at each and every single position group. We're going to start on offense and work our way to defense, but let's start with the running back position between Damien Harris, James Cook, Nyheim Hines, and also Latavius Murray, who's ultimately going to be starting there when the Bills play on a weekly basis. And to me, Nyheim Hines, having that special teams ability for the Buffalo Bills, allows for us to bring in a third running back for Bills Mafia on a weekly basis, because Nyheim Hines can kick return, he can punt return. We have Damien Harris and James Cook being the running backs that we're going to be really giving the handoffs to and the targets to. And then, occasionally Nyheim Hines running out wide, the jet sweeps, right? We can mix him in occasionally, or if there's an injury, we have Nyheim Hines there as an insurance for the Bills. So this is absolutely huge. I don't know how we're going to deploy Latavius Murray. Highly doubt we're going to be calling up 4 running backs on a weekly basis. But if Damien Harris gets hurt throughout the year, we still have that physical style running back with Latavius Murray. The other point I want to make is Dalton Kincaid potentially taking that number 1 tight end role for the Buffalo Bills in 2023. Yes, we have Dawson Knox, but Dawson Knox is not primarily a receiving type tight end. We all know the Buffalo Bills primarily pass the ball with Josh Allen. We are passing the ball the majority of the time, although we still try to run the ball and keep defenses honest. Now, the real problem here that I think the Buffalo Bills need to consider is having a guy like Dawson Knox be a number 2 tight end versus number 1, being an extension of that offensive line, kind of being a blocking type tight end, something that we did with Lee Smith, something we had in store with other tight ends here that we've brought to the Buffalo Bills. And I really think the Buffalo Bills would benefit from having 2 tight end sets out there and having Dawson Knox really play that number 2 tight end spot for the Bills, because he's not necessarily a top tier receiving tight end. Now, will Dalton Kincaid get up to speed? You hear our analytics department, the head of analytics just came out and stated he's been doing this and researching guys for the past 8 years, and he's never rated a player higher than Dalton Kincaid when it comes to catching. So he potentially has the best hands of any prospect coming out of college in the past 8 years. So that is something to really keep our eyes on here. The catch ability for Dalton Kincaid, his route running, he's clearly faster, better route runner, has great feel for sitting in zones per Brandon Beane. Dalton Kincaid could very well easily be and win the number 1 tight end role for the Buffalo Bills, although Dawson Knox will still be deployed and used in this offense. And then just taking a look at this offensive line, Deion Dawkins is set, Mitch Morris is set, and I really think Spencer Brown on the right side is probably going to be set here. The Bills are really gambling on Spencer Brown to have a big leap year, big step up. Quessenberry's backing him up. Quessenberry could swing to the left side too as well. Really, the tough competition is going to be at right guard. Bringing in McGovern at left guard, the Bills making him the highest free agent signing, paying him the most out of all the free agents that we brought in. I really think he's going to find a home at left guard. That's where he's primarily played. That's his position. So I think left guard, you got Deion Dawkins at left tackle, McGovern at left guard, Mitch Morris at center, Spencer Brown at right tackle. So who's going to play at right guard? And it really boils down to O'Cyrus Torrence, a new Buffalo Bills draft pick. Didn't give up a sack or a penalty last year. Freak of nature, a staple piece, a guy that could, seal against heavy defensive tackles that we see in our division, like Quinnen Williams, Wise of the Patriots. You got Wilkins on the Miami Dolphins, and so many guys in the AFC East, these big physical type defensive tackles. we could really utilize Osiris Torrance and still turn and pivot and seal against them, which is huge. But I really think it's going to boil down between Edwards, Osiris Torrance, Ike Bucker, even Ryan Bates mixing in that spot for that competition. So who's ultimately going to win there? It's going to be very, very interesting to see. I really think Osiris Torrance makes the most amount of sense for the Buffalo Bills. You don't want to take away those memorable moments. We see what kind of emphasis and priority we put on Spencer Brown, throwing him out there as a rookie, getting those memorable moments. I really think the Bills are definitely going to be doing that with Osiris Torrance here. And it's a good situation to be in between Mitch Morris, between Spencer Brown, two veterans. And then we have guys like Ike Bucker, Ryan Bates that can play multiple positions, center, left guard, right guard. Bates can even play the tackle positions. So it makes a lot of sense having those guys in there. Now for Edwards, he can play multiple positions too, but this really brings in a potential cut situation. One of these guys might not make it. Even Greg Mance being that backup center, who's going to be backup center for the Buffalo Bills? Osiris Torrance can even play backup center as well too. But moving on to defense, we need to expect a little bit more from this defensive line. Between A.J. Epinesa, Greg Rousseau, Boogie Basham, Ed Oliver, we need to expect the most out of these players here in 2023. I really think Ed Oliver being in a contract year, Greg Rousseau, Boogie Basham, A.J. Epinesa, all progressing through the NFL. These are veterans now. They need to be the best versions of themselves in 2023, especially considering Von Miller. The hype is there that he could very well start the 2023 season, but we don't know that. We need A.J. Epinesa, Shaq Lawson too, Jordan Phillips, Daquan Jones, Poona Ford, Tim Settle. Tim Settle really needs to step up for me. Tim Settle, Ed Oliver, kind of being that same sort of skill set, speedier type defensive tackles. I want to see a little bit more from both of those guys. And the most important competition on this team is defensive tackle. We have Kyer Elam, Christian Benford, and then Dane Jackson, Trey White rotating there. I think Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer are both going to be locks for the Buffalo Bills, though we have DeMar Hamlin mixing in there and a new free agent signing as well. But the middle linebacker spot is a key competition that we have to keep our eyes on. Yes, Terrell Bernard is going to be mixing in there. Balin Spector is going to be mixing in there. A.J. Klein, Tyrell Dotson. There's going to be a tough competition for that middle linebacker spot. And I think, Sean McDermott, the DNA here, the blue-collar DNA of Sean McDermott and the Buffalo Bills, whoever wins that, whoever earns that middle linebacker spot deserves it. And that just is so fitting for this Buffalo Bills team. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys are hyped up for the schedule release tonight at 8 p.m. Going to be releasing a video on that as well as a film study on Terrell Dotson. You guys are going to be really interested in seeing the positives, the negatives. Man, you guys are going to be very, very impressed in seeing the evolution of this team. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please hit like, subscribe. That would be supporting me and my efforts for this channel. Go Bills!